Hey, you whippersnapper. It's me, Charlie. Rose.
Yes?
Are you depressed? Your tummy always making them gurgle sounds? Can't form complete sentences?
Blah, 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 blah.
Well, you got to stimulate your vagus nerve.
I need to go to Vegas?
No, not that Vegas. It's in your neck. The longest nerve in your whacked up cranium.
How?
How, you ask? Let's have nutritionist and Wallace practitioner Marianne Reedy tell you how.
Privately, and I've looked into it a little bit. It actually is it plays a huge causal role in like so many functions of your body. What exactly is the vagus nerve, and why is it such a big deal in human physiology?
It's the longest of all the cranial nerves. So it's one of the cranial nerves, and it goes from the brain into the lung area, the chest, the abdomen, into your reproductive organs. So it's pretty widespread. The vagus nerve, because it is so far reaching, and one of the things that like a lot of my clients will say to me, I have constipation, all right? This is part of the digest part. And I eat a high fiber diet, I take aloe vera juice. What the heck's going on? Well, to me, that's a key. Vagus nerve needs to be stimulated.
Yeah, that we've talked about how it can affect digestion, in particular with constipation and stuff like that. But I was reading that actually affects like so you can have so many symptoms. So what are kind of some symptoms that would be showing or telling that you have some dysregulation going on with that vagus nerve?
Fatigue is one which a lot of us have. Depression, anxiety, even panic attacks are related to this. Brain fog, insomnia, irritable bowel syndrome, heartburn, which is due to low stomach acid secretion, not too much stomach acid secretion. We have so many people on antacids, and it's just the opposite. They don't need an antacid, they have GERD, but it's because they have low acid.
There is a connection between vagus nerve and chronic illness. I wanted you to kind of explain.
Well, I want to give you an example because it really does have far-reaching effects. Even B12 deficiency could be caused by an underactive vagus nerve. B12 deficiency can cause depression, can cause fatigue and digestive problems. It can cause all those things we're talking about, and nerve issues. And that's because when the vagus nerve is underactive, we don't produce enough intrinsic factor. And intrinsic factor is this protein carrier molecule. It carries the B12 vitamin. You need something to carry it from the gut into the nervous system to other places of the body where it's needed. If you don't have this little carrier molecule, it's not getting the ride. Sometimes we're like, well, why do we have B12 deficiency? That's the reason. And it can also lead to what's called pernicious anemia. When you stimulate the vagus nerve, you then can produce more intrinsic factor, and then you have B12 absorption. So it's like this kind of vicious cycle, or it's a good cycle if it's running properly.
So as far as the vagus nerve goes and getting that thing working properly, if you think that is an issue, what are some ways that we can stimulate that, get it pumping?
Yeah, so us talking about it really doesn't mean anything if people don't know what to do about it. It's really actually easy. So something that might sound a little bit silly, but singing out loud, like really loudly singing. So you could do it in the shower if you live with other people, or if you live alone, go for it. Because when you sing and you're projecting like that, you're actually getting like a vibration in the throat, and that's because the vagus nerve is at the base of the neck there where the starts, is very helpful for stimulating it. So the same thing happens when you gargle. So if you're sitting in the shower, take a couple minutes to gargle some water. And I do the alphabet, or I sing ABC, like that kind of thing. But you want to make sure it's like a forceful gargling. So it is good to do in the shower, so you're like dribbling on yourself. But it really is effective. It sounds silly, but it's cheap. Doesn't cost a penny.
It's free. Just
free.
Don't get anyone catching you on camera.
And then also deep breathing. The breath part is really important because it's the expansion, the diaphragm, the abdomen, that going up and down is also stimulating the vagus nerve. So if you want to breathe in deeply through your nose and you want to hold it for a little bit, make sure your abdomen is expanded, and then slowly let it out through your mouth. You can do that for like 5 minutes. That's really helpful. Another thing is chanting, and you don't have to be spiritual to do this. And even just like Om or something like that creates that vibration. So it was just like the Om, you could feel it in here, just the vibrating. And I remember years ago, macrobiotic people say, do the Om. And I didn't really understand. I don't know if they understood it either. What we're doing is that they said it's healthy for you. It's stimulating the vagus nerve is really how that's helping. It can calm you down, but it's really affecting your parasympathetic nervous system. The other thing that you can do in the morning is cold water. So you can either like splash your face with some really icy cold water. If you're in the shower singing and gargling, then you can do this also at the very end. And you might want to start out with just a few seconds, but you can go up to like 2 minutes. You turn it on really cold. You know, you get that like jolt, but that's good. It's not only the vagus nerve though, you're also secreting adrenaline. So you're getting your adrenal glands pumping a little bit too. And that whole rush through your body is great. So you're getting those two things. And then just exercise. You know, if you want to walk or dance, you can dance around your house, your apartment. And so the exercise also gets this like peristaltic movement in the colon. So people will say like, oh, if I don't exercise, I don't have, good bowel movements. Well, that's what's happening when you exercise and you're getting that whole nerve flow going and you're having the movement that you need. Another thing is yoga. And now I don't really like getting on the floor and doing all of those positions, but I do something called chair yoga. And they have, again, right now, all the stuff's online. Yeah. Most of it's free. I mean, you could pay for something, but it's mostly free. But the sun salutation, which is it's like about 10 positions that you do, really easy. And you do go on the floor for that, but it's nothing strenuous whatsoever. That specifically has been shown with the different movements there to help the vagal tone to get that stimulated. So that's another thing, really easy. A supplement, it's called 5-HTP. It's 5-hydroxytryptophan. So tryptophan is an essential amino acid that we have to eat. We need it. It's in like bananas, turkey. 5-hydroxytryptophan is like a breakdown product of it that we need it to break down into before we can use it in the body. That's really helpful with increasing the serotonin. So serotonin is another neurotransmitter, which means another messenger. And the higher our serotonin is, usually the calmer we are, the better sleep that we have. So sometimes if someone has insomnia, it could be just that their neurotransmitter is lacking. Now, the thing is, if you take it with a little bit of carbohydrate, it's best because eat it with a protein, because tryptophan is amino acid, which makes up proteins. It actually will compete with the protein that you're eating at that time.
Interesting.
You just take it with a little bit of carbohydrate, even like a little apple juice or something. So then we have prebiotic foods so that we can absorb the probiotics. So prebiotics are things like garlic, onions, leeks, asparagus, apples, oatmeal, and then something called chicory root. Chicory root is high in what's called inulin, and it's not insulin, it's inulin. It's something that is very helpful in the gut. So chicory root, you can have a tea of that. Things are dandelion greens. Now, you don't want to go out and pick dandelions outside if somebody's sprayed pesticides, but dandelion greens, which you can buy, are also really good for prebiotic food. And so then the probiotics that you want to put in would be something, you get it from kimchi, which is becoming more available. And then you could have sauerkraut, which you can make yourself. There's a lot of online things about making sauerkraut right now too. Any kind of yogurt or kefir. And it doesn't have to be from dairy if you're staying away from dairy. You could have almond milk, soy milk, coconut milk. All those things have the active probiotic in them. The other thing is eating something with omega-3 fatty acids like fish, salmon is high in that, or flax oil, flax seeds. Those are high in the omega-3 fatty acids. Those really help with the vagal tone. And now massage, if you are with somebody, you can give each other a massage. If you're by yourself, and even if you are with somebody else, you can do like a foot massage. On the bottom of our feet, we have all these acupressure points. So especially if something feels tender, work on it for a little bit. If it feels like hard, it might be a lactic acid buildup, or just tender, press it and work your feet. And that's really helpful. It's almost like acupuncture where it hits all those different meridians in the body. So that's very helpful. And a lot of these things are good for everything. It's good for vagus nerve. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, which is going to be really unpopular, is limit snacking. So, it's not a time for intermittent fasting or total fasting. It's really not. Low sugar is really important right now. You don't want to have high glucose levels at this point. So if somebody chooses even just like 3 to start with, 3 easy ones like gargling, singing, and cold water splash, and puts it into their routine, they're really going to be helping themselves.
They're not super complex. Like these little actions can have some big wins in them if you start implementing it one step at a time. So just one more time, I want to say that you can find Mary Ann at her website, nutritionnetwork.net. Thank you again, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ryan.